So I got a message from a friend of mine asking if I would want some vintage video games. If you know me, you already know the answer to this question. So I worked with Dave when I was a superintendent in Penelope. I'll put up a quick video of Dave that I've got from back in the day. But anyway, Dave and I worked together. Dave and I became friends. Super cool guy. And I've told everybody, your relationships that you build as an eBay seller are super important for resale. If you want to get good items at a good price, you need to develop relationships. More importantly than any of the stuff that you're ever going to get to sell, it's just important to have good relationships. And Dave is one of those guys that I have been genuinely blessed to have great friends. And even though he's drastically younger than me, he's the kind of guy you want to grow up and be. But anyway, he sent me a note and said, "Are you interested in this stuff?" Oh yeah, my son and I, Shane and I, absolutely interested. So what I thought I would do is kind of show you what he gave me. Now, as of right now, I haven't paid him anything. And if you followed me for very long, I don't typically sell gaming stuff. I'm one of those kids that I grew up and gaming was when my friends were drinking and doing other things, I was playing video games. So I have mad respect for the video game industry. So typically what Shane and I do is first thing we do, we make sure we don't want it because we probably do. And the second thing we do is we upgrade those things that we already have before, you know, like if I have two of a certain console and I get one that's in better shape or has, you know, more memory, something like that, I will probably upgrade what we've got. And the third thing that we do is, and more my son than me, but a lot of his friends are into gaming and things, and a lot of the computer and gaming stuff, he funnels to them and makes sure that we don't have friends or family that want to do it, and then he'll sell the rest. While it's really cool to sell some gaming stuff, that's the process it goes through. Is first, are we going to play with it? And then two is, can any of his friends benefit from it? And then third, he will eventually sell some of it. And then whatever he makes, we reinvest back into our gaming setup. So I know you can see that there was some Rock Band stuff. And I already knew Dave really liked Rock Band. I don't know much about some of these things. And let me tell you, I'm an old school gamer. If any of you ever come across the arcade style of Konami, the track and field game, especially one that hasn't been destroyed by putting the rollerball, the one that has the original push buttons, I'm your huckleberry on that. I really would like to find one of those for me. I've actually never played Rock Band, but this is the Fender Stratocaster. Let me rearrange this for you. I don't really know how to do a whole video. I'll tilt that down. I have two tubs of stuff that we're going to open and kind of look at and see what's in there. And then the Rock Band stuff. I guess I'm just going to open it up and let's see what we've got. When I picked this up, Dave told me to back up to his driveway. And I was like, I'm only picking up two tubs. How heavy can this be? I can tell you right off the bat, some of these I've never had, so I'm not sure what I've got. That is a Sony. That's going to be a VR headset of some type. I bought my son a VR headset a while back, but I don't think it was the Sony one. But if you look at, normally on headsets and things like that, I'm always checking the sweatbands and stuff to see if they're in good shape. Because if they're in good shape, everything should be a go. Nothing has been tested, but it was all working when they put it up. So my expectation is most of this stuff will work. It'll probably need some cleaning up. Oh, there's some games. Let's see what we got. NCAA football. And it's in there. And PlayStation 4. That's in there. Xbox Kinect Sports. And that is in there. So far, so good. This is a Microsoft brick. Do you want to peek in the box? Let me do it like this so you can kind of get us. I don't know how steady I can hold the camera, but this is what we're looking at. That looks like the original Xbox. This is a PS4. That one's pretty dusty. But it'll clean up. Does that go with the other piece, the VR headset? Xbox 360. We'll go through it and do all of the things with it. See what works for us. Controllers. I'm looking at these. I think he was more organized than I am. That's the original Xbox right there. And then there's an Xbox 360 down in the bottom. So this is an incredible tub of stuff. We'll get all this tested and see what we're going to keep and upgrade our stuff, and then we'll go from there. So in the first tub alone, there's 3 consoles and a VR headset and 3 games. So I'm going to call that a win. And remember, my cost of goods on this is I have to be friends with Dave. And so my cost of goods is high, but we're still good. And for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm sure Dave will watch this and he'll laugh at the jokes. So I hope. If not, I already got his stuff, so it doesn't matter. All right, I want to move this one, and then I'll open the black and yellow tub. He did tell me that I don't get to keep his tubs, but then he let me keep the tubs. All right. Oh. Let's take a look at these. Now, Dave told me that he was pretty sure that a lot of these were reproductions of the games, so we'll double check that when I put my camera back. Got some Rock Band and Beatles. Was that PlayStation? Is that PlayStation 1? I don't know how many discs that's supposed to have with it. Probably 2. 2 discs. Those aren't Sega. These are Sega. So we've got a nice collection of little games there. Let's see what else we got. Man, my son was a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Xbox 360. Gonna be lots of Rock Band. That's got a receipt in it. Rock Band 3, 2. Oh, 2 is not in there. Dang it, Dave. Left 4 Dead is in there. I do not know what that is. I think that is After My Time. Rock Band 3 wireless keyboard. Okay. I guess you play it like a guitar. I don't think I've seen that. All right, this is old school right here. This is like the arcade style. Like a Sega joystick. Okay. Nintendo 3DS. I don't think there's anything in here. This feels empty. Yeah, that's just a case. Sega Genesis. And we have, in fact, Shane and I have most of these consoles. What we'll do is make sure that none of these are better than what we've got. PlayStation controller. All right. Nintendo 64. And again, we have one of these. We'll just have to see how this compares to what we've got. Is that the PlayStation 1? I think that's the PlayStation 1. Ultra Racer. There are lots of controllers. That's the multi-tap. That's cool. Controllers, controllers, controllers. Some aftermarket controllers, aftermarket games. I think that's just a parts kit. So let's look at a couple of things more carefully. One are these right here, the Nintendo 64 games. There's a few things that you can look for when you look at this. If it's super, let me find one that I think is just clearly recopied. Would be like this one right here. You see the colors there? Nothing is crisp, nothing is clean. It really truly looks like it was printed on a color printer on a sticker. The the logo down here is cut off. When you flip it over, it doesn't say Nintendo anywhere on it. And it's made in China. Like, literally everything about this one is wrong. Clearly a reproduction. This one, I really think this one is real. Just all of the key indicators that you would look for appear right. That one appears real to me. Let's see. Kirby. This one is, see the Nintendo, let's see if it'll focus on it. That it's a circle above the eye. I think that one is a reproduction. And this one looks like this one might be real. Banjo-Kazooie. The colors look as if they would be older. It's got the square above the eye on Nintendo. And it's got the, what do they call it? The little dash mark above the O on the French and the Spanish stuff. So I think that one's real. Smash Brothers. This one's fake. I think this one's fake. So this one, they did a better job of it, but the original around the, but showing who could play it, didn't have a white line around it. This one does have the square above the Nintendo, but the lettering is off on the Spanish. Like information, the information in Spanish should have the little tilde mark above the O. Let's see here. This one I also believe is fake. Yeah, this one's clearly fake. It's got the circle above the... That's one of the easiest ways right there, is if it's got the circle above the eye, it's not going to be real. It would have been a square originally. This one's fake. This one's fake. So the fake games, we don't sell them. We'll keep them and play with them, and you know, and you have something here to test when you get a system in. One of the other things you can look for, see the registration mark below. Put my finger on it right here, where below the 64. See how big that one is? Let's go back to the one that I'm pretty sure is real, and look how small it is on that one. The registration mark is much smaller on the original. This one's real. I think this one's real. Donkey Kong 64. No no line around the ratings box. The registration mark under 64 is very small. It's got the square above the I in Nintendo. So I think this one's real. And I have not done a lot of research on whether or not the Genesis ones are real. That feels empty. No, it's in there. You guys have no idea how much of a fan of Sonic my kid was. Virtual Racing. Clearly, my bang for the buck is really high since I gave Dave nothing. I'm disappointed there wasn't an unopened Earthbound or something like that. As a reseller, relationships are really important. But things like this are importanter. The guy that gave this to Shane and I is a genuinely good man. And truly, that relationship means more to me than any of this stuff. But I like this stuff. I like this stuff a lot. So thank you, Dave. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to see you real soon on the next one. Bye.